Every mall we go to, the first floor, all EV showrooms, all competing with each other. Tesla's in there, but it's just one of many.
3位美国商业播客主播到中国后，最意外的是新车、外卖和商场里的竞争已经连成日常。接下来看他们怎样重新理解中国市场的速度。
Okay, let's start with EVs.
All right,
this
so
was,
EVs.
by the way, like I'm not a car person, and we mentioned this on the Patreon as well. One of the things that we spent half a day doing on day 2 was driving across town so we could go look at the Xiaomi SU7 new car.
Yep.
So we went to, this is the equivalent of in America, if you're visiting a new city, right? You're visiting, I don't know, Minneapolis or something. You'd be like, hey, I heard Chrysler has a new car.
Yep.
We should drive 40 minutes across town and spend 3 hours in a mall looking at a showroom car.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome.
Yep.
We have 2 days here out of a 2-week trip in America.
Doug was not sold on the idea, but I think it ended up being rather fun.
Fucking awesome. Like it is awesome. Just the premise is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, on my stream, and Johnny probably heard that China is making great strides in EVs. And boots on the ground, fact. It's a fact.
Dude.
Yeah.
Couple main things is that when you have an electric vehicle, you have a green license plate, and if not, you have a blue one. We are walking around 2 of these major cities, and it is green license plates pretty much as far as the eye can see. We heard from our interpreter today that they have a sign entering the city that certain license plates, like if your number ends in 1 and 6, you can't enter the city today. But if you have a green license plate, that does not apply. Wow. So there's like restrictions that prevent ICE, hashtag fuck ICE vehicles, internal provision.
We saw this in, this was in Chengdu today.
Yeah.
That was,
and so like they've clearly put like heavy government pressure to get EVs mainly adopted. And because of that, there is intense, I've talked about this before, but seeing it firsthand is crazy. There is intense competition for the EV market in China because everybody is kind of pushing to buying one. So winning that market is huge.
I would say particularly in Shanghai, like maybe just anecdotally, slightly less in Chengdu, but in Shanghai, it felt like 80% of the cars I'm looking at on the road are EVs. Like,
and you mentioned this, but it's like all different brands. You're walking, you rarely see like 3 of the same brand. It's always like,
and even weirdly, it's not a lot of BYD, which the story is that they're like the dominant number one. We've seen hardly any. It sounds like they're mostly in international markets now, not in China. There's so many.
I think I saw more in Mexico City. I saw more BYDs in Mexico City than I saw in Shanghai. Like 100%.
Yeah.
And I can say as a not car guy, they're so cool. Like they're beautiful, and the inside of every car we've got into is just like incredible. There's screens everywhere and places that are unnecessary.
Dude, I will say, I agree with Doug. We got into one, we were taking a Didi, which is like the Uber equivalent here. And it was a van. I forget what brand or model it was, but on the armrests of the passenger seats in the back, there were screens built into them to like adjust all the chair settings. And
a knob could have done that.
I'm like, guys,
it's an iPhone. It even has like, I think it's the same OS. It's like there's a little iPhone in the armrest so that you can press back on the seat. Like that's it.
We could just, it's okay for some of them to be knobs and dials still.
Yeah.
That's where, because anyway.
Every taxi, gigantic screen dash with a screen hollow panel in the front part of the bottom part of the
have
windshield.
like panels above like the license plates on the back, like just so you can have like cool things flashing on the back of your car. Wild.
Yeah, no shortage of screens in the EV. So that's been an interesting thing, is like just confirming that it's as prevalent here as you would expect, if not more so.
More so.
Yeah.
I think I came in with high expectations. And
the competition is truly fierce. We're company that I invested in a while ago called Neo, which I thought would be the next big thing, is like it's nowhere to be found. Tiniest little showroom I've seen one time.
This is their year, though. This is their year.
This could be their
also,
year.
we haven't even been to Chongqing or Shenzhen.
Those
were Neo dominated.
I mean, they're supposed to be like the super luxury high end one, but we'll see.
So what is anything surprise you about the car itself? Like seeing, because we like went into cars both Uber and in the showroom.
I think the experience we had of seeing the brand new one was kind of cool, because they had, honestly, the streamers around it was the interesting thing. Like, it was some marketing thing they'd set up, or we don't know if they'd set it up, but it seemed like it. There was just streamers live streaming and just screaming the car specs and going in circles as the car released.
I can to like set the context. It's like if you're in a mall in America and there's like a car in one of the like small mall booths, and then there's 3 people around it with her phone, just like
Ford F-150, and it's got 100 horsepower, and it's great, like that. It's like that.
The new vehicle's coming out tonight. You're going to see the prices. They are coming out tonight, and you should go look at these comments happening right now. And they're just like 3 of them around. We looked online, and they have 1 viewer, 20 viewers, and I want to say like 14 viewers.
14 viewers.
So they're just there, just streaming. It's awesome. And it's like, there's no one else, by the way. It's like 3 streamers around a
And
car,
us.
just yelling, and then us.
Yeah.
This is a strange first impression I've had.
I mean, literally now, I would say in many respects, somebody's life in China seems more modernized and convenient than ours, right?
Yeah.
Like by a wide margin in number of respects, I'd say.
Yeah,
Obviously not
100%.
in all of them. And so then he
it's
said,
in some.
yeah,
Yeah.
with AI, he's like, people are just willing and excited, and they're like, yeah, this is part of change. This is new technology. And on top of that, because everybody uses these super apps like WeChat and Alipay that does everything. You order food, you order cars, you do personal chatting. That's also how you communicate with your job. Everything is through these apps. So as they're introducing AI, it just goes right into the apps you already have. And so that was so interesting. Like we have this weird kind of like separation with the giant companies that everybody's building this resentment. Like, the approval rating for AI right now is like, it's like near the Democrats. Like it's so low in America. And then here everybody's cool with it.
Yeah, I wanted to add 2 stories to this.
It's so good here when, to me, honestly, it's one of the worst parts
I haven't
about
felt
being
that
here.
for only thing I felt it for is scooters. For scooters,
Yeah,
I
the
think
cars are
But
great.
that's part of it. That's part of it. The cars and the scooters are
But
absolutely
they're in
problematic.
different lanes, and the scooters literally just ignore the area they should be in.
Yeah.
The scooters will drive on pedestrian lanes, on sidewalks. They will cut across. They have to have areas that have like literally barriers and walls to stop scooters from being in that say no scooter zone. Because outside of that, they'll go everywhere. Even Stavik was telling me there's a path along the river that's designed for runners. You know, it's made for runners, it's pink lane. And now the runners have to like literally almost avoid it or go like one side of it because scooters just use it because there is so much pressure. We spoke to a scooter driver. You know, they get paid on delivery and time is very, very important. And if you have a shortcut, if there's any way you can make it, that's what they're going to do. They're going to optimize their time. And so, yeah, I think
It feels like you're playing Frogger when you cross the road. It's awesome.
yeah. The scooters are truly insane. And what's weird is though, even I mean, I guess the cameras aren't hitting them or I'm not sure how it's worked, but you know, the guy we talked to, he did get a fine for speeding. And he was like, yeah, it's 50 yuan, which is again 7 or 8 trips. So it's like a significant fine, but he still has to do it, I think, for the pressure of that job. So yeah, I think the scooters are very interesting. I think that's actually one of the things that struck me the most that I hadn't heard about too much or knew about, but didn't recognize how prevalent it is. There is multiple scooters almost everywhere you look at all times in the city. They're always traveling. Every shop you go to has a uniformed delivery driver, often picking something up, going out, walking around. It's everywhere at all times. The ubiquity of these app delivery services is kind of at a scale that I haven't seen. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, the delivery driver stuff. Okay, we were talking about this kind of consistent like flow and class of delivery drivers that kind of underpins everything in the city.
Yeah.
Like as you walk into a building, it doesn't matter what type of building it is. There's always delivery drivers walking in, out of it, parking, going. They exist in like all facets of life. They're so present in a way that they aren't in the US, probably because everybody's in cars. And I think it is more popular here, 100%. Partly because of how cheap it is. So you ordered 3 meals one of the nights that we were in Shanghai for $12 US dollars.
$12 US dollars total, including delivery. These were 3 full meals, you know, chicken and rice and vegetables, delivered to our hotel by a guy. And all of it adds up to 12 total. It was an absurd number. Now, we've sort of investigated a bit, and I think part of it is that there is a brutal competition going on between the 3 major delivery companies. And so they are cutting margin to the bone. And that is why we're getting just a truly impossible deals. But it's like the point is like, if you lived here, and you make, you know, anyone white collar job, I guess, it would be almost absurd to not do delivery because of how insane they've cut the margin to. You can literally get delivery from a million places. Every place has it, and you can get it at absurdly cheap prices. It's like if MoviePass was for everything. It's
It's
not
fast.
sustainable.
The scooter drivers can get through traffic a lot faster, right?
Yeah.
As cars are backed up in the major cities, they just go right through. Like pedestrians are just suggestions. Like it's super fast.
Yeah.
And then if you're in a hotel, they just deliver it in a robot. They don't even have to it's the whole chain is just ridiculously convenient. If you order to a hotel, the delivery driver will go take it to the hotel counter, the concierge, drop it off. They will then put it in a robot that drives into the elevator. That uses Bluetooth to go to your floor and knocks on your door, and you open it up and the robot hands you the food. This is all for insanely cheap.
It's pretty surreal.
Yeah, it's wild. Nothing that I've seen on this trip has dissuaded me from my opinion that China is a not only capitalist country, but almost a hyper-capitalist country that is kind of just beating America at its own game. And I want to know if you have things that disagree with that. I'm reading a literal book called Capitalism right now, and there is people are working jobs for private companies, getting paid in money that they're using to buy their own things. There is literally nothing about it other than the government takes taxes and spends on
You are a sitcom character. You are a sitcom character. You buy your basketball, you dribble it in the middle of the train station, you lose your passport, you're reading a book that I think is the 2x the size of what
Bible.
Of the Bible that is literally says capitalism in giant letters on the front of it and brought it to China, whether it be intentional or not.
No, it's not intentional.
Yeah.
But I just, that is what I'm seeing, is that the privately owned tech companies are out competing. The tax dollars are spent on just better things. They're just being smarter with their tax dollars. I don't think it's a fundamental economic system difference. I think it is literally an intelligence of how you are allocating your tax dollars difference. That is
the infrastructure that we talked about. It's not the craziest thing ever, but it works and it's well done. I think there's a lot of focus on city services. Well, you guys went and had a different conversation. I just ran for a long time down the Shanghai River. And as I went farther and farther down, it became less developed and whatnot. But there's still all these public service workers cleaning random walkways, clearing this area of bamboo, it's just this endless, just system-wide organization of people at this mass scale. And there's that, and then there's insane capitalism on top of it at a level that is way beyond ours. Not beyond ours, but is wild a lot of the time.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's necessarily changed my opinion or understanding. I think going into this, from everything we've read and talked about China before, it's the state is very heavy-handed in picking the winners and losers of overall industries. We're going to allocate assets to benefit public infrastructure or to benefit specific types of companies so that things flow in a certain direction. But if you're a part, it's the free market or the capitalism part of it is within the industries that they want to see proliferate and succeed. And I feel like that's what I'm witnessing.
Yeah. I said they're not picking winners and losers. They are picking.
I think they're not picking winners
industries.
They're not picking winners and losers within the industries. They're doing everything they can to emphasize successful companies within these spaces and industries, and then compete with each other.
For example, I think the perfect example is the EVs thing, where it's they're creating laws that emphasize EVs.
Yeah,
the license plates that creates a market for it, and they're saying whoever figures that out can get rich.
I mean, I think
then there's just brutal competition for people to try and get the market share in the EVs area because they've created this massive. Yeah.
Until we went to the food trade show, at which point it was the busiest. All right, so leading into that, so we're on the train. Okay. Many strange experiences are stemming off of man we slept next to on the train. So one of the things he said is that he travels back and forth. He works for a food company, and there's a trade show in Chengdu that's happening that day. And he's like, if you guys go in there and say you work for a foreign food company, you'll be treated like VIPs. Turns out we don't have to say that we have a foreign food company.
We didn't say it.
We
said the opposite.
Explicitly said we are not a company. But the fact that we are just foreigners was very exciting. And so we went into this place, and it was like a convention like in any other country that is way too full.
Shoulder to shoulder.
And I got shoveled a bag of the best rice crackers I've ever seen. I kind of dragged the whole group because a woman came up and was very excited to talk and had
how powerful her company was.
Yes, and she said we do 40 crates of rice crackers a month, and I have friends in England, in America, and Americans. I like you because of your outgoing personality, and we're friends now. And I want you to meet the boss,
and we are powerful.
The big boss of the rice cracker company is here today. And I was like, wow, that's impressive, guys. We got to go. And she gave me all these things, and we're now friends on WeChat. And I am promising right now, okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to disappoint her, that I'm going to calculate how much money I personally take home from a weekly Patreon episode. And I'm telling Susanna on WeChat, this is my budget. Send me this many rice crackers to our studio in Los Angeles.
We're gonna get
pallets of
so
rice
much.
crackers.
We're gonna get so much.
I don't know if I'm gonna. If
and
it's,
that's
gave us
we're gonna get
so
so
much.
much, and it's not because the amount of money he makes from that episode is that much. That's I want to stress that
it's probably like it's 1,000 or something because this would be after
Because we're buying bulk prices. You're buying wholesale
No,
cost.
exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude. Even if if it's like a few $100s, it's gonna be an obscene amount of rice crackers.
And I think it's going to be more than a few $100s. So I've committed. We haven't done the calculations. I'm fully committing to this. I'm going to make it happen. And all I'm saying is that she pointed out, again, we were very clear. We're not a food distribution company, but she kept saying.
We said it so many times.
And I was like, oh, but we make videos. We make YouTube videos. She's like, oh, okay. But you could start selling food. And like,
she
so what we could do is open up the office.
Food entrepreneurs.
Okay, we have our
for
little
rice
studio
cracker
space,
imports in
and I could
America.
run a rice cracker business out of there. And they're very good. They're honestly very good.
Yeah,
I
they
want
are
to
good.
thank Mita Wongzi for the lovely rice crackers.
You might be having a thought if you're listening to this. She kept saying powerful. And maybe it's just like a mistranslation. Like maybe she doesn't mean like why would she stress that word so much? Maybe she just doesn't know that much English. Like it's fine.
Sure.
No, when Stefik interviewed her for us, she kept using the word powerful in Chinese.
Yeah.
She just
a
kept
powerful
talking about
word.
how
Us to know
powerful the
how
rice
40
cracker company
crates
was.
of rice crackers a month. She told me that 3 times, which does not sound that impressive.
You know what I was thinking is like we're in this multi-floor building, right? And the first floor is the most packed one for obvious reasons. She kept saying powerful. She took us to the 4th floor.
We were top floor.
And it's like, oh, I meant that's the worst floor to be on. This is the hardest one to get to.
Oh, but that's where the boss
it's the
is, dude.
elites.
Up the
That's
top.
actually the big boss. No, that's completely wrong.
Well, on the
that's
third
that's a
floor, I went to,
ridiculous thing to say, and that's insulting to the big boss.
My fault.
Of the
I went to a
Mita Wongzi rice
Mandarin
company.
Orange booth, and we found out that it was like 13% of the world's Mandarin oranges go through this company. They're like the largest exporter of fruit in the world. It was crazy.
It was fascinating to be in this. Like, so the idea is all these food companies trying to pitch to a potential retailer of like what their food is. That was the context, and then we are just randomly in there walking
No,
around.
if we were like buyers for Walmart, we would have been treated like God. I mean, we were already given
right.
the
We
royal
were
treatment.
treated as kings, and we would kind of ascend to some sort of divinity that people would like be unable to look directly at us. Yes,
everyone handing you juice every 3 feet. That was a really cool experience that happened kind of randomly by happenstance.
这段旅行的看点超过了对一辆车的惊叹，也超过了对外卖价格的感慨。它让人看到一个更完整的循环。消费者愿意试新产品，企业在商场和平台上抢用户，配送把交易接到生活里，竞争随后又逼着产品继续改。这样的循环当然也有代价，外卖员的时间压力、低价背后的利润问题，都是原片自己留下的提醒。中国市场的力量落在新产品更快找到使用场景，也落在用户的反馈更快回到企业。原片中谈到的政策引导、公司之间的竞争和消费者实际下单能够连续运转，这样一辆车或一笔订单就不只是热闹，而是在一次次交易里试出来的市场能力。外界若只盯着补贴或价格，很容易漏掉这个过程。